Hey y'all, it's your girl Symone and welcome back to my channel. If y'all can see by the title, today is another story time. So before we get into this video, y'all already know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because we on the way to 150K by the end of the year. Fingers crossed, the Lord, please. Make sure you go ahead and like this video because the likes do not match the views. So make sure you like this video. Don't forget to comment below because I like to read the comments. Y'all be funny as hell. But yeah, don't forget to follow me on all my socials, Instagram, Vivalayoshii, TikTok, Twitter at LifeWithSymone. And I also want to tell y'all to follow my business page at Brishari. I want to just say a big thank you, y'all. I reached 200 orders on Brishari, you guys. I reached 130K on YouTube. So thank y'all for that. And yeah, while I'm recording this video, it is Labor Day, but I'm posted the next day. But I want to say thank y'all because I had a Labor Day sale and y'all went crazy, like crazy. I got 35 orders. So I want to say thank you guys so much for that, and I love you guys so much. But anyway, so let's get into the story. So y'all, I wanted to keep it going. I'm trying to get better with speaking on people and then not taking years to bring them up again. So this is another story about Kiara, y'all. Y'all already know. Let me switch it like there. Okay. So this is another story about Kiara. So y'all, at this point, me and her was hanging out a lot. Like after that day I went to her house, because literally, like I said, she didn't live that far from me. We was hanging out a lot, and me hanging out with her was actually a good and a bad thing. Like I said, well, it wasn't really too much bad, but kind of I would get myself in like weird kind of situations. But excuse me, it was bad because like we literally wasn't doing shit positive with our lives. Like that's why it was bad, like for the most part. But it was good because I was able to really kind of like push myself away from crazy. Like I didn't need to be in that situation, and like she took a lot of my time too, so I wasn't really too much like you know, like I don't know, it was just like I was starting to see a lot of shit and noticing like my worth and like, oh, I need to get away from this. But anyway, so yeah, so me and her used to hang out a lot. She lived close by me, so it'd be like, why not? She'll always hit me up and be like, girl, come over, I'm gonna come to your house. So one day she ended up hitting me up and she was just like, what are you doing? Mind you, on this day I was spending the night at Crazy house. So when she hit me up, it was the morning time. Of course she seen I was at his house because I'm pretty sure I posted him on Snapchat or whatever. I probably posted like watching a movie that night or something like that, because y'all know he had my Netflix password that he used to watch Netflix with all the just yeah. So yeah, I posted I was with him the night before. So she ended up hitting me up like early in the morning, probably like 8ish. But she knew me, so that's probably why she hit me up, because she knew like I leave his house early as hell. If I spend the night at somebody's house, I'm going early. I don't like to just linger around your house. Like I just like to go home, and I would go home and go right back to sleep. I don't know, it's so weird. So so she ended up hitting me up early, but it's crazy because before she hit me up, me and him was in the bed, we was just talking, and he was just like, what you doing today? All this other stuff. It's like he know that I leave early, but it's like it seemed like he was trying to get me out the house, like you need to can go now type shit, like I was taking too long or something. So he asked me what I had planned for today, and I was like, oh, I don't really got nothing planned, I'm not doing nothing. So he's like, oh, are you gonna go to Kiara's house? Mind you, it was like normal for me to go to her house, but like when you ask it now, it kind of seemed weird. So I'm like, I don't know why. So he's like, oh, I'm just asking, like if you want to go to her house, like if you want to, you let me know, I could drop you off at her house instead of taking you home, like just let me know. So it was so weird that he even said that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see. But I was about to text her, but I didn't, and it probably like a few minutes went by, like probably like 30 minutes, like a little bit went by. She ended up hitting me up like, girl, what you doing today? Like come to my house, like you still at Crazy house. So when she hit me up, in my head, y'all, I was trying to think like, okay, girl, it ain't no kind of connection. Just leave it alone. Stop being weird. I'm thinking like, damn, did he text her and tell her to hit me up? Why did she hit me up? I don't know. It's just weird. And out of all the friends, like he did not like none of my friends. He didn't even meet them to not like them. He met like one. But it's like for you to not know these people, he didn't like them. But her, he first had an issue with her, but then he liked her, and it's like you didn't even know her either. Like I don't know. It's just weird. So she ended up hitting me up and she's like, what you doing today? Like, you trying to get in traffic? You trying to do this, da, da, da. So I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go to her house. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come over. So she was like, all right, we could find something to do. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to since I'm already here and I got like some extra clothes here, I'm going to just take a shower at his house and I'm going to come over or whatever. Because sometimes I'll leave like some leggings or I'll bring extra clothes with me. Because even though I would leave super early in the morning, I would still want to change my clothes. Like, I still want to shower and stuff before I go home, just to go home and go back to sleep. Like, I don't know, I just still wanted to. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get ready and come. So I ended up getting ready or whatever, and I didn't have no flat irons or nothing at his house, but I was like, I could do my hair at hers. So I was like, all right, you could take me to Kiara's house. So he's like, all right, cool. He was so happy. Like, I don't know, it's like he was jumping for joy. Like, if I just said, oh, it's Christmas and you get to go and Toys R Us and go crazy. Like, he was so excited that I was going to her house. So anyway, so he ended up dropping me off, and when I got to her house, she was just like, hey girl, like, she wasn't dressing her like that. She was like, she gonna get dressed, because we was just gonna figure it out anyway as the day went. That's literally what we did. So I was like, okay, like, I got in her house. Mind you, before I left, he was telling me like he had to go to his hood and go do some shit, and he was gonna meet up with his homeboys, and that's why he was asking me basically what I wanted to do, because he had to go handle some shit or whatever like that. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So he like, yeah, just hit me up later, like, I'll come back and get you if you still here, or whatever. We'll figure out like what we could do later on. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get to her house and we just chilling, we talking and all type of stuff. So she was like, are you hungry? So I'm like, yeah, like, I just thought about it. I did not eat before I left. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna make some breakfast. Like, you like bacon, you like eggs and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, cool. So we go into her kitchen, y'all. She started cooking, like, she's like, she gonna make the bacon. First red flag when she made them eggs first. You know, you never supposed to make the eggs first, because why is you know the eggs they cook fast and they gonna get cold. Like, why would you cook the eggs first? So that was the first red flag when she cooked them eggs first. And she was putting a lot of weird stuff in her scrambled eggs mix, because y'all, like, I season my eggs too, you know, like a normal person, but like the stuff that she was putting there in there was really weird. And I was just looking like, I don't know, you know, don't knock it till you try it. Everybody make their food different, but like, her egg mix was weird. I can't remember what she put in there, but it was some shit that made me look with a side eye like, why the fuck she just put that in that egg mix? So anyway, she made the eggs first. That was the first red flag, right? And then, because she was supposed to make breakfast sandwiches, we was going to make bacon, egg sandwiches, whatever. So then she started to make the bacon, which she should have made first. But when she started making the bacon, y'all, I'm noticing she started pouring oil in the pan, like grease. So I'm like, what is she doing? So I'm thinking like, maybe she meant to make something else. So, excuse me. So she's supposed to So she's pouring oil in the pan, and she's like letting it warm up. So I was like, what you about to make? She was like, girl, I'm about to make the bacon. So I'm like, why'd you put oil in that pan? And she was like, what? I said, why'd you put oil in the pan if you about to make bacon? And she's like, Symone. And she just started laughing and looking at me, and I'm thinking like, did I say something funny? Like, did I miss something? Because I don't understand, why would you put oil in the pan when you're making bacon and makes it on oil? Like, what the fuck? And don't nobody read in the comments like, girl, you could make it like that, because no, that's something I'm not gonna agree with y'all, because why you want some greasy ass bacon? Because it makes its own oil. Like, she was making pork bacon and it makes it its own oil, so you don't need to put a whole, but she put so much oil in that pan too. So yeah, so she just like letting it heat up. She put the bacon in there, and it took a minute for the bacon to cook too, because it's like, at this point, it's like you being weird with it. So anyway, so she made the bacon, and it was so oily. Like, when it finally got finished, I was like, I'm just about to eat me a cold egg sandwich, because I'm not eating that oily ass bacon. So when she was done, she was like, girl, you don't want no bacon? Because she was like, I'm gonna have to make the whole pack since I'm opening it up. And I was like, no, it's cool or whatever. And she's like, oh, well, I'll just ask my sister and her baby daddy if they want something to eat then, because why would you have me make the bacon if you wasn't gonna eat the bacon? And I'm just like, because you put oil in the pan and you're not supposed to do that. And she like, girl, every time I say that, like, she really gave me a look like, bitch, are you dumb? Like, she really gave me this weird ass look. So I'm just like, whatever. I ain't about to judge what y'all do in this household. So we end up going back to her room and we eat it. I'm eating my cold egg sandwich. Don't know why I didn't put the eggs in the microwave. I don't know. I just ate it like that. So I'm eating it and we talking and stuff. And next thing you know, she get a phone call. So she answered the phone and she answered on speaker. And it's her cousin. And she like, girl, what you doing? And she was like, girl, I'm just at the house chilling with my homegirl Symone. Like, what you doing? And she's like, girl, I was about to come pull up on you because, yeah, I'm in your area. I'm about to come over or whatever. What you doing today? So she's like, girl, we trying to figure out something to do. So she's like, all right, I'm about to pull up. So we chilling. And probably like 5 minutes later, her cousin come through the door. So she must have already just been outside or something looking for parking. So she ended up coming inside. And she was like, hey, girl, like, what's up? And she was like, girl, like, what's good? She was like, yeah, I came over here because I wanted to get in the shower over here and stuff like that. She was like, I already planned on coming to your house. We're going to name the cousin. Let's name her, because I have a lot of story times with her, too. Let's name her. All right, let's just name the cousin Brittany. So, yeah, Brittany came in the house, and she just like, yeah, when she came in the house, I was like staring at her because for 2 reasons. One, I was like, she's really pretty. And then 2, I was like, she looked just like this girl on Instagram. So she looked at like this Instagram model girl that I used to follow, and I used to be like, oh, she is so pretty. So I was looking like, is that her? Like, all I seen was like her hair was like messy and she had a lot of tattoos, like she was tatted up. So I was looking like, wait, is that her or whatever? So she ended up coming in the house, she talking to her or whatever. Mind you, I don't know how this girl sounds, so I don't know, but I'm not trying to stare at her too much. So I'm like, I don't want to seem weird. So she came out, I introduced myself, and she said her name was Brittany. Mind you, the girl on Instagram name is not Brittany. They didn't have the same name at all, but I'm thinking like, maybe she changed her name on Instagram. I don't know. So she talking, and we sitting there, and she was like, girl, yes, I was in your area. I was going to come over anyway. She was like, but when I told my little boo I was coming to your house, she was like, you know, he don't live too far from you. He told me to pull up and come get a, you know, a little quickie, like give him a quickie before he go start his day. So when she was saying this, y'all, my little delusional ass, I'm sitting there like, her man lived near here. Her man lived near here? Like, my man lived near here. Not me acting as if they live in a fucking desert with 2 houses on the just 2 houses like miles away, and the city is miles away. I don't know why that's what I was acting like. So I'm just like, let me just keep eating my sandwich and listening. So she was like, ooh, girl, you was at his house? She was like, girl. She was like, yes, I was over there. So then she was like she was finna say his name or something. Or like, it sounded like she was about to say his name, but then Kiara stopped her and was like, girl, like, you know, like, basically like, don't say too much. So at this point, I'm like, even more weird. This is more weird. So she talking, and then she was just like, yeah, girl. She was like, I fuck with him, but I don't know if I really want him like that. I feel like he got something else going on, like he got a girlfriend. And here me in my head thinking like, bitch, I'm the girlfriend. You think he got a girlfriend, bitch? Y'all delusional. So I'm like sitting there thinking like, this is weird, but I don't want to seem like a weirdo and come out and ask her like, girl, who is he? But because it's like I just met her. So she talking, and she was just like, yeah, girl. She was like, oh, tell me why the other day it was his son's birthday. And I'm like, son birthday? Like, I'm really sitting in my head. She's like, it was his son's birthday. She was like, and he had me pull up to Chuck E. Cheese because I was like, I want to get your son a gift. And his baby mama was there. She was just staring me down. She was like, and his baby mama's ugly as fuck. Something like, no way. Son birthday, Chuck E. Cheese, ugly baby mama live near here. Ain't no way this ain't my man. Like, I'm like, this is so weird. But you know, it's not common for a lot of people to take their kids to Chuck E. Cheese for their birthday. So I don't know. And for some reason, it's like his son birthday have the same son birthday as everybody else. I don't know. But at this point, this is what I'm thinking. I'm just like, oh, nah, this bitch Kiara got me fucked up because this is why you became friends with me. And now I'm thinking like, oh, I'm thinking like, that's why he was trying to get me to Kiara house so he could get her cousin up over here. And that's why Kiara hit me up because they in cahoots with each other. And yeah, and I see what the fuck is going on. I see what's going on. So I'm sitting here like, oh, hell nah. And it's crazy too because y'all, when I first had the girl, like the IG model girl, like when I used to see her pictures and I would be around him, I'd be like, oh, look at this girl, she is so pretty. Like, I love the way she dressed, I love her hair, I love her tats, like she's so cute. And I used to show him her. So I'm thinking in my head like, damn, I showed the nigga the bitch and he went and got her. And I was thinking too, like, how the hell he pulled her? Like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. He must have tried to spend money on her or something because ain't no way he pulled her. But I'm thinking like, damn, he probably remembered that girl on Instagram and followed her. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so they still talking or whatever. So she like, what y'all finna get into today? So then Kiara's like, yeah, we wanted to get into traffic. And she was like, but I actually started talking to this new dude or whatever, and I want to go see him, but I'm scared to pull up on him by myself. Like, so y'all down to go? So I'm like, girl, I'm down. I really don't care. And at this point, I'm down too because I need to figure out more information about this Brittany character. No. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm down, but I'm not like, you can't tell that I'm thinking some crazy shit though. So Brittany, she like, yeah, girl, I'm down. Like, I'm cool. Like, let me just take a shower or whatever. I'm put on some of your clothes and we could go. So she ended up going in the bathroom and getting in the shower, and I'm like fixing up my hair and stuff. So I'm like, girl, who's the dude? Like, who's the dude you talk to? And she's telling me like, oh, he's this boy from such and such. Do you know him? So when she showed me his picture, when she said his name, I didn't know him by name. But when she showed me his picture, I'm like, oh, I know him, but I don't know him. So she's like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, oh, well, I used to talk to this boy, y'all. Finally, I got the name right. Remember Devontae from back? Yeah. So I'm like, I used to talk to this boy Devontae back in the day. I'm like, and that's his cousin or homie or something like that. And it wasn't Lamar. It was not Lamar. So I'm like, yeah, that's his cousin or his friend or something like that. But I'm like, he went to my school, but he will always see me and like say little stuff to me like, oh, you talked to my cousin or something. I'm like, basically he used to kind of like little girl me when he see me like, oh, y'all young ass. Mind you, the boy was a year older than me. So I was just like, or a year or two, shit, I don't remember. But yeah, so she was like him. So I'm like, yeah, I know him, but I don't know him. Like, when I see him, he'll speak to me, but I kind of really don't speak back to him because I'll be confused at why he's talking to me because I don't know him. Like, it just be weird. Like, I don't know. So she was like, oh, okay, wow, that's a small world. Like, it's crazy. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm telling her about like my old friend Toxic. I'm like, yeah, my friend Toxic. She used to talk to his homeboy Lamar. You know Lamar. So she's like, no, but I be seeing him. She's like, he talked to such and such now. Like, he said some girl. She said some girl name. She told me like, y'all remember I used to see such and such post him. And I was like, oh, for real? Like, it's a small world. She's like, yeah, girl. Like, but I don't think that's like her man. Because, you know, this his baby mama. And I'm thinking like, I thought you didn't know him, but you know a lot of information about him. So she like, yeah, this his baby mama. Let me show you her page. Not showing her. She showed me Lamar baby mama page. So I'm like, oh, for real? Like, oh, that's cool. Like, cool. So when her cousin come out the bathroom, Brittany come out, at this point I'm like trying to fill things out, but I'm not being weird. I'm still like, okay, it's cool. Kiara cool people. So I'm thinking like, Kiara ain't gonna, she probably ain't doing me like that. I'm probably just dumb as hell. So I'm sitting here and I was just like, oh, I was like, girl, oh my God. I was mentioning my man. I'm like, crazy been getting on my nerves. So when I said his name, I said his hood name because like that's what more people knew him by, as his hood name, but I would call him his real name. So even like when girls would like get in, like not get to me, but like they would try to say like weird stuff about him, they would say his hood name, because I don't know if he wasn't like telling people his real name or something like that, but like it seemed like only people that knew his real, like a lot of people just didn't know this man's real name for some reason. So I said his hood name. So I'm like, oh, me and Crazy been getting on my nerves, girl, like da da da. So when I said it, I'm looking at Brittany. Mind you, she on her phone. I'm looking at her to see like what her face is gonna do. And I'm like, damn, she ain't showing no reaction. So she's like, girl, what he do? Like, what he do now? And I was all like, oh, girl, nothing. Like, cause I didn't have nothing to say. My dumb ass just talking to just be seeing somebody's reaction. So anyway, we was like, okay, we finna go. So but when we was about to leave, Brittany was like, oh, I'm hungry. And she's like, girl, I made some bacon and eggs. So she's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make me a sandwich or something. I'm like, fuck. Cause when she said she was hungry, I'm thinking like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to get some food, because that greasy ass bacon and this cold ass egg sandwich didn't do me no good. So while we go to the kitchen and Brittany picked up the bacon, she said, bitch, why is this shit so damn greasy? And I was like, because she put oil in the pan when she cooked it. And she's like, girl, why would you do that? And she's like, what? And she's like, why would you put oil in the pan when you cook bacon? And she's like, bitch, I was high as fuck. Don't do that. I was high as fuck. You know I know how to cook. If you can't make bacon, what can you make? What can you make? And then so she was just like, we just started laughing or whatever. And I was like, girl, that's why I was telling you, why are you putting oil in the pan? And she was like, girl, like, I don't know, I was high. I'm thinking like, right. So anyway, we ended up leaving out the house and we ended up we ended up going to McDonald's before we pulled up to old boy house. So we ended up pulling up to old boy house. Let's just give him a name because, oh yeah, he needs a name. So let's call him Melvin, y'all. We gonna call him Melvin. So we end up going to his house. Before we put up to Melvin house, we stopped at McDonald's or whatever. And I was like, cool, because she told Melvin we're stopping at McDonald's and he didn't ask for no food. I'm like, oh girl, you got your little real one so far. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we pulled up over there and we parked and we told him like we about to come outside because he lived in an apartment building, but it was kind of big and it's like we don't know where we're going. So he come outside, y'all. Why he come outside with a paintball glizzy? A paintball glizzy, yep, because you gotta say where it's different here. He's like, he came outside with a paintball glizzy. So I'm like, what he got that for? Mind y'all, I don't know, they probably did this in other cities too, but like at one point it was where everybody was going around and they was having paintball glizzy wars with each other and shit, and like popping each other up, and they used to play too fucking much. So I'm like, oh, he better not try to pop us, you know, because I know that's what people used to be doing back then and stuff. And I'm like, hell no, he's about to play too much. And I'm like, bitch, not today. So we ended up getting out the car and she was like, for when we first got out the car, because he was aiming it at the car, she was like, stop playing. So he was like, I'm not about to do nothing, y'all get y'all scary asses out the car, come on. So we got out the car and then he seen me and he was like, I know you from somewhere. And I was like, right, we know each other, but we don't know each other. Because that's the truth. We don't know each other. So he was all like, yeah, where do I know you from? Where do I know you from? So I said the school, and then I was like, plus Devontae. So he was like, oh, Devontae. Yeah, oh my God, that's crazy. What the fuck? It's a small ass world. He was like, I got to tell Lamar I seen your ass. I got to tell him. He usually be here, but he ain't here today. So he's like, you talked to Lamar? Have you talked to him? I'm like, no, I haven't talked to him. He was like, that's crazy. He's like, I do remember seeing you. I ain't gonna say all that, but he's like, I do remember seeing you at such and such. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, damn, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Like, it's such a small world. I'm like, right. And we started talking about Devontae. He like, yeah, like, that was my nigga. Like, dang, that's so crazy. Like, all this other stuff we was talking about. So I was just like, yeah. So we walking in the house. And at this point, I'm trying to keep it real dry because it's like, this ain't my link. So I'm not about to be all up in this ninja face. And I don't want her to think like, why are you talking to my man too much, bitch? You know, so I was like keeping it short. But so we get inside the house or whatever. And it's like 4 or 5 guys in the house. I don't know, I really wasn't counting like that, but just to eyeball, remember, like, it was probably that many. All of them we didn't even really like communicate with, so that's why I don't remember how many was in the house. So excuse me, we get in the house, we got our food in our hand, and the furniture was non-existent. So I went and sat on the floor, because y'all, I'm not judgmental. I don't know people life situations. Plus we was young as hell back then. Shit, you could have just moved here. If you know, furniture sometimes grow, y'all, because when I had moved back in 2020, when I first moved here, I had to wait a month for my couch to come in. Like, it literally took them a month to bring me my couch for some weird ass reason. But so yeah, I don't judge nobody's situation, because you just never know. Like, shit, you just never know. So yeah, I just went and sat straight on the floor, because I'm trying to eat my food. I'm hungry as hell. I'm not about to sit here and be playing games. So I went and sat straight on the floor. Like, I put my back against the wall. I slid down like I was crying in an R&B song, and I sat down and I ate my food. That's what I did. So they ended up following pursuit and sitting down with me too, because Kiara, she was been about to sit down, but I think she wanted to see like how we was feeling. But it's like, girl, shit, I'm the friend that's not judgmental. You could put me in some crazy ass situations. I'm not gonna judge these people, because you just never know. Life be life and shit. You just never know. So we sitting down. His homies, one of them is like laid on the counter or whatever in the kitchen, because like the kitchen was kind of like open with the living room, but it wasn't that close together. But one is like laid out on the counter, and then the other one was just standing up. They all, well, like 3 of them had like paintball glizzies in their hands. So I'm thinking like, ooh, they better not try to do no weird shit up in here. That's probably why they took the furniture out, so they could hit us up. No, I'm just kidding. But we sitting down, and while we sit down, we just all talking. So what I call that boy Melvin, he ended up just kept talking to me. Like, he kept asking me questions about shit like, so dang, remember such and such, and I'm like, I don't, because mind you, we know each other, but we don't know each other. We don't like, no, I don't. So he like, I should call Lamar right now. And that's crazy. He was like, because we was literally just speaking about Devontae. He was like, and you had came up. He was like, and that's crazy that you right here. Like, what the fuck is really a small word? I gotta call that nigga right now. So I'm like, okay. And I'm just eating my fries and stuff in my face like I ain't ate before. So then, next thing you know, I start talking to Kiara. Like, I just start talking to them or whatever. So we talking. So Kiara finally said something to him, and she was just like, so what's up? Like, you ain't gonna give me no hug or nothing like that. So he like, you just came and sat straight down and sat down. You didn't ask me if I want no food or nothing. Like, you didn't give me no hug. So she ended up getting up. She hugged him and stuff. So I'm like, cool. He stopped talking. So me and Brittany, we kind of just started talking or whatever. And mind y'all, oh, at this point, y'all, I forgot to mention, when I was at before we left to come here, I had text Crazy and was just like, what you doing? And he was like, oh, he had just made it to his hood, which was weird to me, because before the cousin came, that's why even more I was thinking like, she gotta be talking to my ninja, because how he just now making it if you dropped me off like an hour and some change ago, and then like you made it around the time that she got here. Like, it just didn't make no sense. So that's what I was really thinking that. So I had told him, y'all, I told him like, oh, well, me and Kiara is about to go kick it with her little boo she just met with her with her cousin Brittany. You know her? And he was like, no, I don't know Brittany. Mind you, her name wasn't Brittany, but her name was like a name that's not really too common. So I was like, you know Brittany? He was like, nah. I was like, she kind of this, like, she looked like this. I'm describing her. I'm like, you know her? He was like, I don't know her. So I'm like, oh, okay. I was just asking if you knew her. He was like, yeah, why? And I'm like, I just want to know who you knew. But yeah, I had told him that we was going to kick it at her dude house or whatever. So he was like, he didn't have an issue with it, because I felt like, I mean, I ain't had no reason to lie to him. Shit, I'm not about to come over here. If he would play that though, he would spin it though. Like, he'd be like, oh, he didn't care. And that's how I knew, like, oh, he on some fuck ass shit. And I felt like they was in cahoots with each other, because any other time you gonna be saying some crazy shit, but I'm telling you, we gonna go kick it at a ninja house with her, and you just like, okay, cool, hit me later. You got some shit going on with her cousin. So anyway, me and her talking, we just talking about a whole bunch of shit. And at this point, y'all, I'm low-key telling her about Crazy, because I'm really just trying to feel her out and see if she gonna say something. But honestly, if a girl with your nigga and she know that, she ain't finna tell you shit. So I'm over here just talking, and she was just like, oh my god, girl, like, what? That's why I see I ain't got no man. I just be like, I got my little few people I deal with on and off, but like, I am not in no relationship right now. And I was like, yeah, so I'm just like, okay, that's cool, girl. So anyway, next thing you know, these 2 boys end up come sitting next to us or whatever. So one boy, he talking to me, and he was like, I heard that nigga say that you know Lamar and them. Like, how you know my fam? Like, how you know everybody? So I was like, oh, now I gotta explain everything. Like, I used to date Devontae. He like, oh, that's crazy. Like, yeah, it's such. So we talking, and another boy's talking to Brittany. I don't know what the hell they talking about. So the boy that's talking to me, we just gonna call him Bunny Rabbit. No, the boy we talking to me, we just gonna call him Rabbit, because that's what he looked like. So Rabbit talking to me or whatever. Not like in a bad way. I'm not trying to say like he looked like an animal, but like he looked like a little rabbit, like cute little rabbit or whatever, like a tall rabbit. I don't know. He just like a rabbit. So if you see this, he ain't gonna see this shit. He ain't gonna see this shit. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, Rabbit, he talking to me and we just talking about a whole bunch of stuff. And he was just like, oh, y'all wanna have fun? So I was like doing what? He's like, y'all wanna shoot the glizzies? Like, y'all wanna have a war? So I was like, no, I'm not. I didn't come to play that shit. Like, I'm not here for that. So he like, dang, y'all boring as hell. So then when Melvin heard it, Melvin like, yeah, nah, come on, let's do it. So she like, stop playing, and he pointing it at her, like damn near her face, pointing at her like, it don't hurt, let me just shoot it, let me just hit you with it, like it don't hurt. She like, let me hit you with it. He like, nah, come on, let's go outside and let's go do it or whatever. So I'm like, nah. So Kiara's like, I just want to see, I just want to do it, like I just want to, you know, pop it, like I want to see how it feel or whatever. So she's like, let's go outside. So I'm like, y'all don't play with me, like don't hit me, like I'm not playing, like whatever. And Brittany like, yeah, I'm not playing that shit either, don't hit me, because if they hit me, she's like, bitch, I'm about to go, like I'm be ready to leave. So he's like, nah, we not gonna play too much, like we ain't gonna do nothing. So we end up going outside, and how the apartment building was from one side of like the hall of the apartment building, you could see the street. So why this boy, is people walking by and he's literally pop 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 at the people walking by and they running and shit. And I'm like, oh, he's playing too much, bro. For one, we in the hood, and 2, we in the hood. 3, well, somebody start popping some real things. So then he hitting it, because you can't say certain words here, I'm sorry. He's like, you know, popping it in the hallways of the apartment. And I'm like, damn, he just don't care about where he let his head at. And it's like, stop playing so much. He hitting it on people's door. And I'm like, oh, he's weird and wild, because what if somebody come outside and beat your ass? I don't know what he fight like, but still, or your ass, you know, like you doing too much. So he was doing the most. At this point, I was kind of low-key ready to go, because I'm like, he doing too much where he lay his head at, and we up in this apartment, it's only one way in, one way out, and I don't think I could jump out of a window on the 3rd floor. So I just don't got time for this shit. And y'all hood is too, so it's like, why are you being weird? So while we was outside, Brittany was like, oh girl, I'm about to go. She was like, but I could come back and meet up with you, or I could take you home, take y'all to your house right now if you want to, because we was there for a little cool little minute. And she was like, girl, where you going? She was like, my little boo want to meet up with me, like he wants to see me or whatever. We was supposed to go grab something to eat, like I forgot. So she was just like, dang, all right, well, you could just go and then meet back up with us if you want to. She was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna just be right back. I'm gonna just go to his house and we gonna go probably grab something to eat, and then like I could come back. So she ended up leaving or whatever. We go back in the house. I'm sitting on the floor, and when she left, like the rabbit boy, I don't know what happened to him, but he disappeared too. So I'm in the house and I'm just sitting on the floor, and y'all, I plug my charger in, y'all. I'm laying on the floor with my feet up in the air, and I'm on the phone with Crazy, because Kiara and Melvin went in the room. They was in the room for a minute. They was like, oh, we finna go in the room real quick, like. And I'm like, go ahead, peace out, girls, see you in a minute. So I'm laying down on the floor, because y'all, I get real comfortable. It didn't look like they had no roaches or nothing like that. So I'm laying on the floor with my feet on the wall, like just dangling my feet and like kicking the wall and stuff. And I'm on the phone with Crazy. And at this point, I end up putting it on speaker, and I'm talking to him. He like, oh, what y'all doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm just at her. Because y'all, mind y'all, this is why I got on the phone with him, because how my head was still messing with me. I'm thinking like, is she finna go meet up? Because Crazy like to eat too. He likes food. Something like, is she finna go meet up with him? So I'm calling him to be on the phone with him to just see, like, let me see. And he started being weird and gotta get off the phone. So I'm on the phone with him. We just talking. And he like, oh, yeah, so who the boy? Like, where he from? And I'm telling him like, oh, he from such and such over here and all this other stuff. And he like, oh, okay, yeah, that means cool. And he like, wait, what's his name? So I told him. He was like, oh, I don't know that, but I be seeing him around. Like, I went to their hood day before. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you know, we just talking and we just laughing and stuff. He like, oh, okay, I'm surprised. Like, he being cool. The next thing you know, he like switch it up. And he like, I'm surprised you not booed up with somebody or with a ninja. And I was like, why would I have a boyfriend, right? Like, you my boyfriend, right? So like, I'm just saying, because no telling what the y'all on. So I was like, oh, I know what you doing. I'm like, you trying to start an argument with me so that you could go link with somebody, Brittany. That's what I'm thinking, because you trying to get off the phone now. He's like, I'm not. And I was like, okay, well, stay on this fucking phone then. Like, we was just, that shit was just toxic. So we on the phone, we just like talking for a cool minute. Sometimes he's just breathing and I'm breathing too. We ain't saying shit. I'm just scrolling through Instagram with the shit on speaker. So finally, like, Rabbit and another boy end up coming back in the house, and I'm still on the phone just talking, but I end up taking it off speaker because, yeah, so I'm talking to him and I've just got it to my ear, and finally, like, I end up hearing, like, he put up to somebody's house and, like, some dudes got in the cars, like, a whole bunch of them. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just let you go. But he didn't hear them come in the house, because if he did, he would have probably been like, oh, I know why you're letting me go. So I'm like, I'm gonna just let you, excuse me, I'm gonna just let you go. And he's like, all right, yeah, because come see me later. Like, he's like, come back to my house, or we could go to your house later or whatever. So I'm in the house and I'm talking to Rabbit at this point. So Rabbit was like, oh, I was finna ask you for your number, but I see you already got a dude or whatever. You on the phone. So I was like, oh, yeah, that's my boyfriend or whatever. So he was like, oh, okay. Like, you got a boyfriend? Where that nigga from? So I was like, why? Like, you know, even though he told me he don't beef with them, but I don't know where you from. I know where Melvin from because she told me, but I don't know you like that. So I'm like, why? He's like, dang, I'm just asking, like, is he cool or whatever? I'm like, yeah, he cool. Like, he cool. Like, what, you would be his friend or something? He like, nah, I was just asking. He's like, but nah, I feel it. He's like, you can have friends though, because like, I got a girl. My girl don't really trip about me having friends. So I was like, nah, I don't play that shit. Cause, yeah, cause it's like, you being weird. I see what type of friends you trying to have. So I was like, I don't play that shit. So he was just like, oh, okay, nah, I ain't even trying to put you like that, you know, because you used to talk to Devontae, and like, you know, that was my boy at one point. We went way back, but like, and he's like, yeah, but you said that was when y'all was in elementary, right? Like, y'all kissed in elementary type shit. And I'm like, I didn't say that. I said we dated in like 9th grade, but you know, it wasn't real serious or nothing like that, but still, you trying to be funny. But I was like, yeah, but now I said, even if that wasn't the case, like, even if we wasn't speaking about me and Devontae dating in 9th grade, like, you still got a girlfriend, I still got a boyfriend, I'm not gonna talk to you. So he was just like, okay, dang, like, I see you don't even like fuck around or nothing like that, like, you don't let a nigga just treat you right. So I said, wouldn't you want to treat your girlfriend right? Like, you know, at this point I'm getting offensive because I'm feeling as if this is how crazy be talking to bitches, and I'm just like, boy, you being weird. So he was like, damn, I'm just saying. So he ended up knocking on the door. Like, I guess when he realized I wasn't giving him no play, he ended up going and like banged on the door. I was like, Melvin, nigga, I'm finna go. I'm finna head out. And he was like, all right then. And like, he yelled from the door and he left out. So I'm just laying back on the floor, just like watching stuff on my phone because ain't no TV up in there. So I'm just watching stuff on my phone. Finally, they ended up coming out. And Kiara was just like, bitch, you ready to go? And I was just, but she's saying it while smiling. So I was like, okay, sure. So I ended up getting up. He was like, damn, you was real comfortable on the floor. So I said, where else was I supposed to be at? So when I said that, I don't know why Melvin took offense to it. And he was like, damn, are you for real? Damn. I'm like, damn, what you trying to say? And I'm like, I'm not trying to say nothing. He felt like I was trying to make fun of him for not having a couch. But nigga, you making fun of yourself for not having a couch because, like, where did you want me to be at? Did you want me to lay on the counter like old boy was doing? Like, that's rude. What, you want me to get in the refrigerator? I don't understand. Sit on the stove. Like, I'm laying on your floor. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's not like I was standing in the corner. Now, that would be weird if you came back and I'm just standing in the corner by myself. Then I would have been like, girl, get comfortable or something. But, damn, like, you can't do it. You can't don't do it. I don't know. I was finna say, yeah. I can't think of that saying right now. So, anyway, when we was about to leave, he was going to take us back to her house. But I was like, I'm hitting up Crazy. And I was like, Crazy, mind you, before they came out, I did text him. And he was like, we're going to go to your house. But y'all, look, he tried to set it up. And I knew how he was. He was like, I'm kind of getting tired right now because I've been pulling up. He was like, so I'm sleepy right now. But just call me when you get home. And I'm going to come to your house. Because, oh, this is what this nigga going to tell me. He going to say, my mama said you messy and she don't really want you at the house. He was like, mama said you messy and she really don't want you at our house today. And I was just like, that's so weird because when I left, we just spoke. But y'all, his mama probably did not say this shit. He probably was just lying, but she probably did. Who knows? But y'all, I don't even understand why his mom would say I was messy. Like, she was messy, if anything. Like, me and his mama was all damn near the same age. She wasn't giving Blueface mama at all, but she did kind of involve herself a lot. But she wasn't giving his mama. Like, she wasn't giving like she wanted him or nothing like that. But we all was damn near the same age, him, me, and his mom. So, I don't know. Remember I told y'all him and his mom was close. She was close with Bimbo, and her and Bimbo would do certain shit, like, without him. Like, well, of course, but like him and her mom, like sometimes he would send his mom and Bimbo to the nail shop together, or they would just do certain shit and hung out together when it would be like, girl, and Bimbo used to really be quick to be like, girl, me and his mom went here, and I'm like, okay, well, while you was with his mom dating her, me and him was at the movies, or me and him was out this place. Like, girl, I don't give a hell what you was doing with his mom. But yeah, so sometimes his mom liked me, sometimes she didn't. It really depends on what mood she was on with Bimbo, because sometimes they would get into it for whatever reason, because I don't know what their friendship was like. But yeah, so if she wasn't cool with her, then she'd be cordial with me. But if she was cool with her, then she wouldn't be cool with me. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they close or something. I don't know. Maybe she don't want me to come over because they want to watch my Netflix tonight. Who knows? So, yeah, he was already setting it up. So I'm like, oh, I had already had an idea, like, he's gonna be weird. He's telling me his mom don't want me at the house because I'm messy, so he knows that I'm not gonna just pop up over here. And then it's like, you telling me you about to fall asleep because you've been pulling up, so that can be your excuse for not coming to my house. Like, you know, like, that could be your excuse for disappearing tonight. I already knew what was up because I'm not stupid. You stupid bitch. Anyway, so we get in the car and I tell her, like, oh, I'm gonna just go home, because I'm like, I'd rather just be at home anyway. Like, I wasn't trying to spend it at her house, so I'm like, I'm gonna just go home. So mind y'all, to go to both of our house, because like we live by each other, but she would live on the way. So look, he has to pass by her house to get to my house, but to get to his house he has to pass back by her house. So it's like, you would, you know, drop me off first. So we in the car, she was like, okay, Symone gonna go home. So he ended up, while he pulled up to, he was like, all right, well, where do you live at? She told him where both of us live at. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take you first, and then I'm gonna take Symone, and then I'm gonna hop on the freeway and go back. But mind y'all, it wouldn't have been too much out of the way. You could have literally, y'all could have dropped me off, and then you took her home. So he dropped her off, and I'm like, all right, bye, girl. She's like, all right, let me know when you get home. I'm like, all right, I got you, girl. I'm gonna let you know. So I'm in the car, stay in the back seat. When she got out, he's like, nigga, get your ass in the front seat. So I was like, no, I'm cool, I'm gonna stay back here, because why the fuck would I hop in the front? Like, I live literally just like not that far from here. So we ended up pulling up to my house or whatever, and when we put up to my house, he was just like, all right then, dang, it was nice seeing you. Like, I'm really gonna tell him, I should call the nigga right now. I should call him right now. So I'm like, it's cool. And I'm getting out the car because, boy, what? Like, you could have said all of this when she was still in the car. Why are you trying to say all this now? So he's like, that's crazy. All right, go ahead. I'm gonna wait for you till you get in the house. Mind you, he didn't wait for Kiara to get in the house. He skirted off fast as fuck. He had a fast car or whatever. So I'm like, I just closed the door and was like, thank you. Like, you know, did a head movement like, thank you. I'm already walking to the door. So I walked to the door, and he really sat there until I got in the house, and I was just like, that's so weird to me. But I ended up telling Kiara because, like, I was a friend. I'm not saying in a weird way, but I'm like, girl, I just got home. I'm like, girl, I just got home or whatever. And she called me and we was talking about it. I was like, yeah, he dropped me off. He was just kept saying he wanted to call Lamar. I'm like, girl, he sitting outside. I'm thinking like, damn, when he gonna pull off? You know, I'm just saying it in ways, not trying to say like nothing weird about it. So she just like, oh yeah, girl, no, he just protective over you because you used to date his little cousin back in the day. And I'm just thinking like, this was years ago. We grown as hell now. And okay, whatever. And like I said, I didn't know him like that. So she like, yeah, girl, he just told me he just wanted to be protective over you because, you know, like you remind him of his cousin, like you a part of his cousin or whatever. And I'm just like, his logic made no sense. Like, me and his cousin was close as adults, but like I never been around you like that. Like, so I just don't understand what you're talking about. You make no sense. I could see if Lamar be like, damn, I remember being around you so much when he my cousin, so it's like a part of my cousin make me remember or something like that. I don't know. I could see if Lamar, like, but him, it just didn't make no sense. So we was talking or whatever, y'all. Crazy ghost me. He ain't answer the phone. He ended up popping up at my house at like 2 in the morning, and that's what they used to be annoyed about him, because he'll come knock right on my window, and my fan used to be in the window, so he would sometimes y'all, this nigga. One time he ripped the screen off the freaking window, but he would push the fan out the window. Like, if I'm ignoring him, because I would hear him. I'm a light sleeper. So if he come in there, I'll just lay there and pretend I don't hear him calling my name, act like I didn't hear him calling the phone. Because it's like, bitch, you're not finna just pop up at my house when you feel like it, because no telling where you was just at. So y'all, that nigga would literally push the fan out the window. So I have no choice, because that shit would scare me. And I don't know why each time it would still scare me. And I'm like, oh, and he like, open the door. And I'd be like, okay, dang, like, fuck. So I'll go open the door or whatever. So when he ended up coming, like, we just stayed up, we ended up watching TV or whatever, and we talked, and I'm showing him, y'all, well, I'm showing him, like, the girl from Instagram, and that's when I realized, like, oh, she don't follow Kiara. This is not that girl from IG. Like, it was not her at all. And he was just like, why do you keep asking me if I know her? I don't know her. So I'm like, oh, I was just asking. So now I told him, I'm like, because it was just funny how she said that her mans had went to Chuck E. Cheese, and you went to Chuck E. Cheese, and you got a kid, and you eat, and he's like just laughing, like, nah, I don't know who she is or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I was just making sure. Anyway, that's it for this story time, y'all. I feel like it was a whole bunch of like, girl, what the fuck was this point of the story? So I hope it wasn't though, but like, yeah, I just was like, let me record, cause I really didn't feel like it. But I was like, I have to. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We on the way to 150K. So yeah, make sure we get there, because I want to get there by the end of this year. By December 31st, I want to be at 150K. So fingers crossed and prayers up. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all in my next video.